All right, thank you guys for coming to our Guest Chefs at Google LAX program. We're super excited to have Chef Dakota Weiss of Ninethirty in the Backyard here with us today. And in true Top Chef fashion, I don't know if you guys know she was a competitor on Top Chef. She just whisked in like 10 or 15 minutes ago and threw all this stuff together for you guys. So, again, thank you for joining the demo. And without further ado, I want to send it to Chef Dakota.
Okay, so I wanted to do something today that is reminiscent of Thanksgiving, given that that's coming up. And I don't know about everybody else, but I mean, being a chef, Thanksgiving's a big deal because it revolves around food, which is awesome. So I created the morning after Thanksgiving breakfast. And this is something hopefully you guys can take home and kind of, because everybody's like, what do you do with all the leftovers? Everybody's tired of turkey sandwiches with the cranberry sauce. So what I created is a pumpkin pie smoothie. And really that's just an excuse to have pumpkin pie for breakfast, to be honest. And it is literally just the whole pumpkin pie with, some fun ingredients. And then we're gonna make French toast with cranberry sauce, gravy, with the shredded up turkey meat and smothered in gravy. So it's kind of like a play on chicken and waffles a little bit, but a little more refined. So let's get started with the pumpkin pie smoothie. Get my gloves on. Does anybody here not like pumpkin pie? That's funny. I am kind of the same way. I don't like pumpkin pie in this format, but I love pumpkin. The texture is really strange to me. It's one of those weird texture things. So I'm kind of the same. I wouldn't eat pumpkin pie like this, but throw it in a blender with some yogurt and honey. We got a party. All right, so we're literally going to take our pumpkin pie and throw it straight into the blender. I mean, does this already look good or what? All right, that there. It is a little messy. Yogurt to make it somewhat healthy and breakfasty. And we're gonna add milk. That's another part of our healthy part of it. Smidge of cinnamon. Let's see, vanilla. I like to go 2 capfuls. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of honey to it just because the crust of it, I noticed yesterday in my experimentation phase, makes it a little bit savory, and so the honey kind of sweetens it up a little bit. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of ice. And then have the milk handy just in case you need to thin it out, because obviously pureeing a whole pie kind of makes it a little thick. All right. Who thinks I can do this without a lid? We're gonna start with, stand back. So we're going to keep the milk here, give a little stir. Okay, first recipe done. Okay, who wants to try? All right. I don't know, do you want to come up and get it? You want to bring it to you? I don't know how that works. But it's pie for breakfast.
That's for Halloween. That's the most terrified I've been in cooking
With that.
Sitting in the front.
Scott Siddle.
You're like, oh my goodness.
Everything you get taught not to do.
We like to break rules in the kitchen, you know? How is it? Tastes like like pumpkin pie. Well, it absolutely tastes like pumpkin pie. For me, it's a texture, though. If you don't like the flavor of pumpkin, then yeah, you're going to be like, meh. All right.
Speaking of blender, you guys use a lot of blenders, yes. So there, you know, like Vitamax, there's Blendpack, there's Ninja, and so you have a, you know.
Vitaprep all the way. Okay. Vitamix, yeah. I mean, in my opinion, it's the best because I mean, you just took an entire pie, crust everything with a little bit of work with a spoon or a spatula. I would recommend maybe at home using a rubber spatula, not a metal spoon. But Vitamix, absolutely. How's it?
Awesome.
Right, cool. So now we're gonna make our French toast. So has everybody made French toast before? Pretty easy, right? Start with awesome ingredients such as cream. Right there. Eggs. And then I add a little bit of brown sugar. I don't want to add too much because it is kind of a savory French toast, but a little brown sugar adds a nice help kind of caramelize the French toast part of it. And we're going to whisk that up. See that. I like to use brioche, and I slice it about 1 inch thick. And then you're just going to put that in the bowl and let that egg mixture really soak up into it. Butter. Hot pan. And basically for the gravy part and the turkey part, all I did was, the great thing about this is all this stuff is already cooked. So I just took the gravy, heated it up, shredded up the rest, especially picking off all that good part of the turkey that's left on there. If you didn't eat it in the middle of the night, that is. Shred it all up, throw it right into the gravy as the gravy's coming up to temperature. And basically you just kind of make like a turkey gravy, more or less. So you can put this in the pan. When you see this butter start to foam like that, that's a good sign that your pan is ready. And then the cranberry sauce obviously is already made as well, which is super awesome. That stir. So I kind of just, with French toast, it's really easy to make. The trickiest thing to me is when the French toast is kind of raw in the middle. That's not super awesome, in my opinion. So what I like to do, if it's really, really thick French toast, I'll cut it in half and then sear the insides of it. And I'll show you that in a second here. You want to get nice little brown caramelization. Has anybody ever had gravy smothered French toast before? Sound fun or sound weird? I think it sounds fun. I don't know, especially since being in LA, we've got Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. It's similar. All right. So you see we start to get the little brown color on the French toast. Yeah. It takes a little bit of time, but patience is a virtue. Does anybody have any awesome plans for Thanksgiving? Going anywhere? Cooking anything? No plans?
Hopefully being served food instead of cooking.
Right? That's always a good thing. Is anybody a football fan? Don't the Cowboys play on Thanksgiving every year? I'm not a huge football fan, but I think it's a big deal for most people. All right, and you can see on the French toast, we're starting to get that really yummy brownness, and that's really crispy. And the butter from it adds a really nice, like, toasty nuttiness to it. So once you've got that on both sides, what I was talking about earlier is kind of just take it out, and I like to cut it like so. see how the inside's like kind of raw inside still? Then you just kind of slice it, put it right on like that. That way you avoid raw egg in the morning, because nobody really likes raw egg.
Do you prefer ceramic knives?
What's that?
Do you prefer ceramic knives, or is it just for small stuff like this?
For small stuff, these are really kind of fun knives. Plus they're pink, and I love pink. But they're really lightweight. And when you have, like, when you're cooking all day long and you've got a super heavy knife, after a while your arm is just like, ugh. It's very tiring. It just depends on what I'm doing, honestly. Something like this, it's perfect. All right, so see how we get a nice, cool little caramelization inside there? Yum. I'm just gonna kind of beautifully place these on our plate. That one needs to go a little longer. And then you've already got your turkey, it is Thanksgiving, right? In a pot. Be heated for you. That cranberry sauce, I heated this up a little bit just because I think it'll taste a little better. But really you're gonna kind of just load it up. Top like that. Then we're gonna add our delicious gravy mixture. Voila. Breakfast is served. Pretty easy. Does it look good? I think it's gonna taste delicious. All right, so I'm gonna make some smaller ones for you guys. Any questions?
What are you guys doing at the restaurant?
We do, so at the restaurant we do a family style Thanksgiving, just because since I have to work on it, I want to pretend like I'm having a normal Thanksgiving like most people. So we have a pretty traditional Thanksgiving menu with the turkey. We're doing a seckel pear salad, a sunchoke parsnip bisque. I think what else we've got going on today. Yeah, pretty much normal. Pumpkin pie, of course. Pumpkin creme brulee as well. Maybe. A pie besides pumpkin? Okay, I have a favorite that I make every year. It's my favorite since I'm not a pumpkin pie fan. I make a buttermilk rum-soaked raisin pie, and they're really, really easy. And then I think another great traditional one is pecan pie. Yeah, those are my two go-tos since I'm not the super huge pumpkin pie person. What's that? Oh, well, you know, it depends on if I have the time, but.
Do you make the crust get the pie without one?
It just sticks together because you do it when it's really cold, and it's kind of like, I'm trying to think something to relate it to. It just does, because it's like the flour and the butter and everything has binded together. Yeah, you can roll it. I think it's like super awesome Martha Stewart trick. It does require patience, and especially with baking. I don't have a lot of patience, and I'm not the best baker. And it's a lot about measuring everything, weighing everything out, and I get a little too antsy, and I want it now, and you know, I'm not super huge on like clearing off the teaspoons, so it is tricky, but like she said, the rolling pin method is great, but as long as it's cold and it's made properly. But if I'm at home, usually I just buy frozen pie crust.
I guess the blender the next day will hide at work.
What's that?
I guess the blender the next day will hide my cat work won't be.
Exactly. Exactly. Are there any vegetarians? So I can make it minus the turkey.
Do you have any tips for like the perfect turkey? Is it, you think it's buying the right turkey or cooking it right? Or?
It's a little of everything. For me, the most important thing about having your turkey come out moist, which I think everybody, that's kind of their biggest thing, like it's always so dry, is to brine it. Put it in a salt, sugar mixture. I like to put a little bit of scotch in mine, just because it makes it so much better. And lots of thyme, lots of garlic. It's basically just equal parts sugar and salt to water. Let it sit overnight, and then take it out and roast it. I always shove a little bit of butter under the skin, because butter makes everything better. Butterscotch, right? What else could you ask for? Bacon, good one. All right. I don't know if you have, oh yes, forks right there. Here's the morning after. I don't know, I think I made enough. Please come up and try. Or I could bring it to you. Whatever's easier. There's lots. Yeah, absolutely. Probably. Yeah. Does it taste like Thanksgiving?
What were the proportions between the egg?
I usually go almost equal. And then sometimes if I'm feeling super saucy, I'll add a little extra egg yolk just to give it more of a custardy feel.
Do you put the put the bread overnight? Because I remember when I watched one show, it's like soak it and put it on the ground and put it in the fridge overnight, and is that better?
You said Alton Brown said that? He's a genius, so I normally listen to everything he says. I don't know. I also don't like it though when it gets really, really soggy, and brioche is very absorbent bread, so if it gets too soggy, it literally just like crumbles to pieces, and then you've just got like bread pudding, so to speak. But I mean, he's pretty smart, and most of the time he knows what he's talking about. I've not tried that technique, but I'm going to tonight. How is it? Would you have that? It's easy to make for breakfast, right? You know, everybody goes back to their family and wake up the next morning and surprise your whole family. You're like, look what I did. Yeah, bread pudding, there's absolutely nothing wrong with bread pudding. Well, yeah, if you don't have plans, then definitely come to the W. We've got a fun menu, and then we've got a turkey burger that we're serving out in our backyard restaurant, in case you don't want to do the whole big dinner thing. But we got everything. There's two. I'm at the one in Westwood, which is on the UCLA campus, well, near UCLA campus. Yeah, it's kind of tucked right in between Wilshire and Sunset. Yep. And we've got a huge backyard, lots of outdoor seating with a tent, given our cold weather. So excellent. Thank you, guys.